music director of WXAV. And the thing that I love most about college radio is the individuality that every DJ brings to the station. Everyone has their own tastes, and it's just such a melting pot of just music that you just get to discover all the time. Everyone brings in new bands that no one's ever heard of, and it just goes back and forth, and it's just like, some people would call us music snobs, but it's just, we're not. We're more of explorers. And I think that's what separates college radio from commercial radio. We take chances, we explore new things, and we explore strange concepts. Well, commercial is just so repetitive and just so safe. You know, it holds itself back.
I'm Lindsay Caliendo. I am Deputy Music Director for WXAV. My favorite thing about college radio is that we are run by the demographic that we represent. We give students a voice rather than telling them what to like. One thing that I would hope for the future is better promotion. We aren't like commercial radio. We don't have sponsorship that helps get our name out there. So we really need things like social media and flyers on campus and just people talking to each other about what we do. Because there are a lot of people on campus who don't even realize that we have a radio station, and there are plenty of people otherwise who don't actually realize that college radio exists. And I just want to make college radio as big as it can be because it's such a great platform.
Hello, I'm Ricky Widmer, and I'm the Program Director for WXAV. When I was asked about the best thing about WXAV, the first thing I had to think of was how it's run. And it's student-based, from the top to the middle to even the bottom. Starting at the bottom, we have producers, all students, all first years who want to be involved with radio. The middle of it, you have all DJs who are completely students, just like the campus of SXU. So if you're going to listen to a radio show, you're going to get your music exactly from your demographic. It's going to be, oh, I want to listen to Sally Sue's radio show, who sits in my humanities class right next to me, because we're into the same music. And then at the top, completely student-run management team of 5 people. And I think that's the best thing about WXAV is it's for the students, by the students.
Alright, you're in the WXAV's management office. That's where basically all of us on management come, do our work. I contact promoters with this computer right here. Here's all our new music that we get in all the time. All this is just all the CDs we got in like 2 weeks. So we have to deal with a lot of new artists all the time. Alright, we're in the programming studio now. This is basically where we import all that new music. We put the CDs in there, or we download them off the internet through the promoters. We put it into iMedia Touch production. And what this does, it connects it to the on-air studio over right next to us, so that they can play all the new music that we're importing. Basically, this is our whole library of music right here. There's a lot. I don't know how many there are. You're going to have to just repeat how much music is actually in the system, because it's endless. And this is the editing studio. This is basically where, if you ever hear like a announcement every hour, like an update, that's basically where we make these. These are actually mics. We record them here and we edit it, and then we just transfer it over there to the studio where they can play it during the time that they're supposed to. We also do phone interviews here. They call through that, and then it gets connected to this board, which then connects it to Adobe Audition, which is like a audio editing thing. And then here is our transmitter reading, and that's just for like FCC stuff, so they can keep track of information and stuff like that. And this is the on-air studio where it all happens. This is where the DJs come, talking to the mics. This is our switchboard. This is standard. Here's our system. I don't know if you want to look at the screen, what it looks like. We get to connect to our library right here, where we get to browse pretty much anything. We got all our cool signed autograph posters here. All our stickers on the door from over the years, awards, yeah, just everything.
Really, the main difference between college and commercial radio, other than obviously we don't have advertisements and those things, is that we can play pretty much whatever we want. But I've had people at this station who work at the station say, we should play some more above ground music. But that's really not what we're here for or what college radio is all about. We're supposed to be able to play the weird stuff that no one else can get away with.
WXAV, or any college radio station, allows students to express themselves through music, and that's something all schools everywhere should offer their students.
College radio helps promote local artists by widening their audience.
WXAV has allowed me to experience new bands, artists, music, that you can't hear anywhere else on the radio, especially in, say, rock, metal. You don't hear those bands or those types of music on the radio. College radio or WXAV, you do.
I mean, being a part of college radio, it's a wonderful experience. You get to control the airwaves, put whatever music you want on for all the people listening. You get to meet cool, interesting people. I mean, I get to interview all these local bands for just have them come in and play a song, and it's a wonderful time having them in the studio.
College Radio Day helps the students and community be aware of all the DJs that help produce professional broadcasts throughout the community.
WXAV helps students like myself learn public speaking skills. And by able to speak to an audience on the air, I'm able to take that and apply it to my major, which happens to be education. And any student can take this and apply it to their major, their education, because eventually we all will have to be speaking in front of an audience.
You can listen to us at 88.3 FM on the south side of Chicago. Otherwise, you can tap into our web stream at WXAV.com. Also on the website, you'll find show schedules, podcasts, and album reviews. And you can like us on Facebook.
I hope this was informative about College Radio Day. You can check out collegeradioday.com for more information. And make sure you check out their store. They got a double album and a poster for sale. And the proceeds of that go to the College Radio Defense Fund. And basically it just bails out college radio stations and high school radio stations that lost their budget or are going under. So it's a good cause. And I am College Radio Day.
One of the two students who started the radio station was Chuck Floramo. Chuck remembers how Paul Phillips and himself came up with the idea.
Paul and I were very interested in starting up a mass communications program at the college, and we just thought that there was tremendous interest within students at the school and in the community, and a radio station would be a natural first step. Paul and I were both musicians, and we thought, a school of this caliber should have those kind of facilities and those types of venues for students.
Things were now up and running, and with an impressive faculty of Sister Mary Ann, Joel Sternberg, Don Pucala and Don Lash, amongst others, the programme was finally taking off. Except the idea for radio wasn't. Nevertheless, Chuck Floramo was still firmly committed to the idea, and on one fateful day in 1978, they decided to take the initiative for themselves.
We both had some equipment from our bands in our car, so we pooled our resources. We had an old mixer, a Shure mixer and microphone, and I had a cassette deck in the car with some cables and a small adapter. Paul and I looked when Marge, the operator, wasn't looking, and saw that there was a connector that we could get into with our equipment. So we ran a cable down the hall, put ourselves in the phone booth, and turned it on. I'm glad it didn't catch fire.
Even without an FM license, the students were determined to expand their broadcasts, sometimes in very creative ways, as Dr. Stephen Murphy remembers.
There was a guy named Jason Holley, and he lived in Regina Hall on the third floor overlooking the baseball field. And when we had the closed circuit radio station, the broadcaster actually sat in Jason Holley's room and called the game from over the right field foul pole.
It continued to be, kind of existing by the seat of its pants.
And we made the case that you could do radio for $25,000. It would be tight, but at least we could get it going. And he finally, after some discussion, bought into that. In the meantime, we were doing searches for frequencies and fortunately found one.
On August 3rd, 1986, Phil Gordon, the manager of WSXC, sent a copy of a proposal called Consider the Possibilities to the president and faculty of the college. It was the first time that the vision of an FM radio station was presented to the Saint Xavier community. But the work of raising money and constructing a radio station would take years to come to fruition. And so, with little over a month to go before the 80s slipped into the 90s, on November 22nd, 1989, Saint Xavier College was granted a construction permit to begin work building the tower and the radio station. It was at this point that WSXC became the new WXAV, and a new station was born. But there still would be more than 2 years to go before the station would finally go on the air as an FM station. On March 1st, 1991, a station that had been set up in 1978 was finally coming to fruition 13 years later. By moving the radio station to student services, it became well funded, and there was a full-time professional staff member whose responsibility was looking after WXAV. Rob Quick, an Englishman who had just moved to Chicagoland from London, was soon invited to campus for an interview. In January 2002, Rob Quick was hired as Director of Student Media. The following year, WXAV entered the Student Silverdome Awards for the very first time, competing against all the colleges and universities in Illinois with college radio stations. In 2004, for the very first time, WXAV began streaming on the internet. Now WXAV's programs could be heard around the entire world.
We broadcast online through our website, WXAV.com, and we have listenership in India, in China, in Egypt, in the UK, in Northern Ireland, and Ireland, and really just become a worldwide power.
As the student DJs and faculty members testify, WXAV has changed people's lives. Chuck Floramo, one of the 2 students who helped set up the radio station nearly 30 years ago, returned to campus to see the radio station and tour the studios.
As I take a look around me now, it's so humbling to see how far this has come and how much good has come from running that cable down the hall.
And who knows what WXAV will accomplish in the next 30 years.